Check, check. Oh, there we go. Well, good evening, everybody. What we're doing right now is we're just trying to get a few different production things over here settled in and get finalized before we get this thing rolling. We want to make sure this thing goes off with as many smooth problems and everything's figured out as best as we can before we just fire it up. So we're getting the last couple things and final touches on this because we want to make this an event for these kids this evening. So again, if you're around the barn and trying to get settled in, go ahead and find a spot, get comfortable. We got a few minutes left. If you need to do something, this would be the time to do it, and we'll get fired up here as soon as we can. Check, check. All right, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. Again, we're going to get started here in just a second. We've got everything pretty well set on our production side. If you're here and obviously have the opportunity to get to watch this in person, this is going to be super exciting. If you know of somebody that's at home that maybe wanted to have the opportunity to watch it, or if you want to come back and watch it later on, what we were trying to get set is we have all the cameras around ringside. This will all be streamed live on the Kootenai County 4-H's YouTube page. I'd highly encourage you guys checking that out after, or if you have friends, sending that to them saying, hey, you guys have the opportunity to watch that tonight. Okay, what we're going to do here in just a minute is we're going to dim the lights. We're going to have all the lights in this building get dimmed down, and we're going to have our spotlights on these individuals coming into the ring. So when we turn the lights, I would recommend that you guys kind of have a spot that you are willing to stand there for about 2 to 3 minutes as we get all these kids into the ring and set in place. As soon as we get the kids in and set in the place in the ring, we'll kick the lights on. The judge will take over at that point in time, and we'll go ahead and sort through these kids and get you guys a junior, an intermediate, and a senior champion, and then we'll come back and do an overall here in just a minute. That's going to be the start with the GOAT Show. We're then going to take a little break in the middle. We're going to recognize a handful of people, a few people that we want to go ahead and take a moment and we feel that are valid of recognizing, and then we'll roll right into our hog show this evening. Again, super excited to have all of you guys here. We're going to make sure that we do our final checks, and we're going to get started here in just a second. Thank you for being here. All right, at this time, can I go ahead and get those at our light panel to go ahead and dim the lights? Travis, focus. Will do.
From the Prairie Wranglers, we have Lainey Tolman. And an independent, Josie Nagel. And from the Ramsey Raiders, Isaac Green. And another Ramsey Raider, Ty Knopf. Bow and a bow.
So just asking their song.
And an independent, Shaylin Nagel.
So we're done with juniors.
Oh, that's the last junior.
Fade out. Lonnie, go.
Yeah, that's the last junior. Lights. Lights on.
All right. Well, there's a lot of people in here. I like to see that, and hopefully you're here to watch the finals on the goat showmanship and the swine showmanship. So hey, that's awesome. Hey, pack the barn. That's what I like to see, and boy, I'll tell you, it gets me excited. And these kiddos, they did a great job in their heats and coming in here for the finals. We got 5 of them out here in the junior division, and boy, I'm going to tell you, they did a really good job. And so, I'll tell you something about showmanship. If you don't know anything about goat showmanship, kind of the same lines as sheep showmanship. We want them planted on all fours. We want them to be extended. We want those necks to be extended. We want those kids to have good cores on their bodies, and and I like them to blend with an animal. And that's just me as a judge, because I think it just really makes it good when both of them work together and they walk together. The animal sets up, the kid pushes in when the judge is supposed to, and so that makes a great showman, no doubt about it. And we make sure that we got good feet and they're set up right, and that animal is very, very eye appealing. And so that's what helps win showmanship all day long. And I come in here and we did a little run right there and make sure that I had my mind set up. I kind of remember them from the heats and how they were, and what I liked about them, and what they possess in a good showman in my eyes. And hopefully, down the road, other people like the same thing. And so we try to keep it on the same level. But they did a great job. I'm going to go out and I'm going to pick your top 5, and we got the top 5 out here, so I think they'll all get banners. So let's congratulate them one time, and thank y'all again for spending your evening with us here at the fairgrounds.
And our junior placers in fifth place, we have Jalen Nagel. In fourth place, Ty Knock. Your third place finisher, Laney Tolman. Your reserve champion, Josie Nagel. And your 2023 North Idaho Fair Junior Grand Champion Goat Showman, Isaac Green.
All right, so we're going to run this back again. My light help. Let's go ahead and dim them. Travis, lights, please. You'll get it. Eyes, strobes. Let's get this corner.
From the Wild Westerners, Bristol Burnside. Kate. From the Ramsey Raiders, Kate. And a Huckleberry Hustlers, Presley Willis. Sparkles and Spurs, Emerson Thompson.
Clayton Smith, so who is that? I was made for this. Alright.
Prairie Wrangler, Clayton Smith. And out of the Prairie Wranglers, Aubrey Smith. And a Wild Westerner, Camden Bradshaw. And another Prairie Wrangler, Marion Coleman.
All right, lights back on. Let's get this intermediate show fired up.
All right. Let's give this class a round of applause. Intermediates, I think, and have the top five. Those kids did a great job also. And, you know, it's sometimes in showmanship, we're just evaluating on picking them apart piece by piece. And so that's what you have to do when you have really great showmen out here. And they deserve, you know, to be in here, all these kiddos, and even the ones that didn't make it in here. You know, you got some walk-up music, you got some excitement, and hopefully this will get you going, get a friend involved in it, showing goats or lambs or whatever else. But like I said, we need people involved in this, and so y'all are really good, and you support agriculture, and that's the main thing. But I'll tell you one thing, showmanship-wise, y'all are good. Y'all are great. Y'all did a great job. You know the movements, as you can see, when I walk, it's kind of like what? They're going to move it because they see me, because they know what? They know what to do, right? So we can always have fun and we can keep going back and forth, but I'm not going to do that for them, okay? So, but they're a good group of kiddos, and boy, I'll tell you one thing, then that what makes a good showmanship, and that makes it fun for the judge also. And thank your parents also if they help you at home, or whoever helps you at home, because it takes a lot of work getting these animals dialed in and getting them right. I'm going to pick your champion. Let's congratulate them one more time.
And our intermediate final results. In fifth place, we have Cade Knopp. In fourth place, Marin Tolman. Our third place finisher, Aubrey Smith. Your reserve champion, Emerson Thompson. And your 2023 intermediate grand champion goat showman, Bristol Burnside.
All right, and for our third and final time for them seniors, let's kill the lights. Spotlights.
She's a Northwest Ranger, Ryan Shoeshone. From the Round Mountain Riders, Orion Dickinson. He's a Ramsey Raider, Sharon Knopp. the Northwest Rangers, Hayden Johnson. He's an independent, Mr. Matthew Green.
Go, Lonnie, go.
Timberlake FFA, Courtney Ross. Timberlake, Olivia Barnhart. Timberlake FFA, Carlene Ross. And from the Muddy Rascals, Ariana Daniels.
Let's turn the lights back on and let's get you guys a senior drive.
All right. Well, who liked the senior showmanship? Because I really did. Were you watching? Okay. So, well, I like doing this sometimes because I'm a dad and I love agriculture and I love judging. So, she's going to have her opinion. I'm going to have my opinion. But which one did you like out there out of those? Were you watching? You know anything about goat showmanship? You show goats, lambs? Which one did you like? You can tell me. One point. You can tell me which one? All right. You got her opinion, right? So, hey, in judging, we all have opinions, right? And so you might like one, it might be your kid out here, grandkid, or whatever else. And that's what's great about showing animals, because we can do it as a family or as a group, or have somebody help us, and your network gets bigger and bigger. And so that's what I love about it. I love senior showmanship because I go to these big shows and it challenges you of what your knowledge is and what you know and how you can react with the kids. And so it makes you really just be a better person and a better judge. And so I love it because I get out here and I say, oh, these kids are good. They're all good. These are my top 5. But I'll tell you, nothing to take away from them, that other line over there, because that's great showman. And so as a judge, it works me as a judge. And I'm going to tell you, I'm very pleased with these 5 out here. I like them for the standpoint that they know how to can get their animals right, and the feet are right, and their head carriage is right, and they can look at the judge. And that's what makes showmanship, is eye contact, when you know you got all your fundamentals done on the groundwork of the animal, but as an exhibitor, you can look at the judge and say, I feel very comfortable with my animal and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. That means you kind of put in some hours at home. You know what that animal is. You know how that animal reacts. And I'll tell you, that's what makes a great showman and a winning showmanship and placing in the top of their class. And so they did a great job, awesome job. Let's give them one more round of applause, because I think they did an awesome job. Like I told you, I had a senior graduate this year. I cried like a baby because I knew that she wasn't going to be in the show ring anymore. But if you're a senior out here, help other ones, help other families out, help them get involved, because that's what we need to keep these things going and these shows going. We know that they're expensive and we don't make a lot of money on the long run of it, but it's the friends you meet and the family you meet and the loved ones you spend time with, and that's the main thing. And boy, I just want to thank y'all again for a great show. I know we still have a Supreme to do, but I just want to thank you. I've enjoyed myself out here for the last 2 days. I'm going to go out and I'm going to pick your champion. Thank you again.
And your final senior placers. In 5th place, Matthew Green. 4th place, Pauline Ross. Your 3rd place finisher, Mr. Jared Knott. And your reserve champion, Olivia Barnhart. Your 2023 Senior Grand Champion Goat Showman, Mr. Hayden Johnson. We want to hang out. We're going to do our overall next. We started out with 40 goats. We narrowed it down to 3. Now we're going to narrow it down to 1. Our junior champion, Mr. Isaac Green. Our intermediate champion, Bristol Burnside. And your senior champion, Mr. Hayden Johnson.
Let's give these kiddos a round of applause. They did a heck of a job out here. They won they were a purple ribbon in their class, and then they went to the finals and they're in the top 5, and then they're the overall in their age division. So that means a lot, folks. I don't know if you're in the animal world, but that would mean a lot to me if I was a parent or if I helped these kids, because that's the pinnacle of where you need to get to when you're doing showmanship. And so, boy, hats off to them. I'm going to tell you too also is that we talked about the sponsors last night and things like that. Thank your sponsors for here, and thank the committee people that put on the show, because I know we don't agree sometimes with them and we get into scuffles with them, but if we don't have people like that, you don't have this. So let's give your committee people a round of applause. On the Goat and Hog Committee, they did an excellent job. I talked to a lot of them. Great help, but we got to have great help to put on shows like this. Back to the kiddos, though. Very nice. I'm very pleased with these kids. As you can see, they can set them up. They can maneuver. They know where they need to be. They can feel that animal of how they need to adjust and how that head sets, and that's what makes a good showman. There's one of them out here. I liked him in his class. I liked him to win the age. The senior's going to win. Congratulations to him.
And there it is, your overall grand champion showman, Mr. Hayden Johnson.
Awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that goat show. All right, we're going to go through 2 recognitions right here in a second. I'm going to go through and I'm going to award the average daily gain winners. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and announce. We're going to start with the goats because we got a lot of our goats individuals in here today. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit the swine ones here next as soon as I get done. If you're in the stands, what I would like you to do is instead of coming down here tomorrow, we're going to have the sponsor of this award here tomorrow, and we'd love to get a picture with you and them with the banner that you're going to be receiving. So to start off with the goat show, our average daily gain winners are in third in our average daily gain, having their goat gain 0.479 from the rate of gain day is Fancy Bullsby. In second, with an average gain of 0.48 is Danikin Dessen. And in first, with an average daily gain of 0.507, is Presley Willis. Let's go ahead and give those 3 a round of applause. Now over in your swine show, again, we have 3 individuals that had pigs that gained exceptionally well. Going through those top 3 in third, with an average daily gain of 2.215, is Addison Jolly. In second, with an average daily gain of 2.26, is Heidi Williams. And winning the average daily gain contest in the swine show with an average daily gain of 2.247 is Sabrina Collins. Awesome. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic over to Lonnie, who's been our phenomenal announcer these last 2 days. He's going to go ahead and take a moment, and we're going to go ahead and start up kind of a new award that we want to get started here in the swine show. I'm going to allow him to go ahead and explain it, talk about it, and we're going to recognize a few individuals that we feel has made a big impact here.
So this year, the superintendents of the barn decided to start the North Idaho State Fair Hog Barn Hall of Fame. They wanted to start recognizing the many hardworking volunteers from the past, present, the future that were instrumental in making this hog show what it is today. This year, we're inducting our first 2 members. And for the future, we would like the people to submit nominees with information about how and when, and they will be posted on the NISF website. This year, our first inductee will be Mr. Stacy Carhart. A well-known name in this barn. Stacy started the Ramsey Raiders 4-H Club in 1974. All of his 11 children went through 10 years of his program. He became a swine superintendent in 1975. Served as one for 25 years. He was an organizational leader and a swine leader for the Ramsey Raiders for 27 years. He was recognized as the 4-H Leader of the Year in 1989. He is still a fixture at the fair each year, watching his grandchildren and his grandchildren show their animals. He's always been dedicated to the children in our community, whether it was through 4-H or softball, where he was named to the Idaho Softball Hall of Fame last spring for 30 years of dedication to the sport. Stacy was also involved with his church youth group for many years. He has a real heart for kids. Stacy is one of the founding members that made this hog show what it is today. That's why Stacy Carhart Sr. is one of the 2023 first inductees of the Hog Barn Hall of Fame. Look at our next inductee, Mr. Matt Booth. Matt showed hogs at the North Idaho Fair from 1972 to 1982. His work ethic and dedication to livestock made him one of the most feared hog showmen in the barn. Matt has won many top awards, including Reserve Champion Market Hogs, several-time Champion Showman. Matt was the Champion Hog Showman at 10 years old, back when there was no age division, beating several of his older siblings. From that day forward until he aged out, Matt was known as the hog barn, in the hog barn, as one of the guys you had to beat. I'd like to read a letter about Matt from his brother Todd Booth. I'm writing this letter in support of Matt Booth for the Hog Barn Hall of Fame inductee. I've worked with Matt for more than 10 years in the Kootenai County Hog Barn as an assistant superintendent, supporting father, and overall interested bystander. Matt was always there when help was needed of moving shavings, fixing fences, moving hogs and cattle, sometimes the board man. All the parts of managing a successful hog show for the kids of the Kootenai County. Prior to becoming a superintendent, Matt was involved in the development of the Jacqueline building into the hog show barn since its inception. He provided his expertise and construction skills to help build the wash racks, loading chutes, scale house. He was there during the entire development of the Jacqueline barn, which is still in use today. He has also contributed to the hog program with his support of the kids financially as a purchaser and his supporter for many years. I wholly endorse Matt Booth as the true Hall of Famer for the Kootenai County Hog Show Barn. Respectfully, Todd Booth. Can I get Class 1 Junior Showman to the holding pens?
So here we go, everybody. We got our first class loaded with our juniors. For those on lights, let's go ahead and dim them. Let's get the spotlights on this first pen, and let's get these juniors into the ring.
The Ramsey Raiders, Ace Nicholson. From the Kootenai County Showman, Braylee DiPolito. From the Muddy Rascals, Ellie Demirs. And a Northwest Ranger, Samantha Dirks. Ramsey Raiders, Andy Nicholson. And another Ramsey Raider, Mr. Ty Knock. Sparkles and Spurs, Ella Rude. Ramsey Raiders, Isaac Green. Northwest Rangers, Parker Rosenberger. Northwest Rangers, Kimber Ellison.
All right, let's turn the lights on and let's go ahead and sort through your junior show.
Intermediate showman through the holding pins.
But hey, there's nothing better than being out here tonight with good kids and good music. I don't know if y'all realize how hard it is for kids this age to have this much control over these hogs. You can go to a lot of places and have a tenant under showmanship, and you got about 5 dads out there with boards trying to herd the pigs. There ain't anybody else out here but me. And it's so impressive. And there's not a better place to have a young kid in the barn. I grew up on a wheat farm in Cotton with my grandparents, or my parents sold out, and I went to live with my grandparents and farm with them. And it's the best thing ever happened to me. But I can't do that with my kids. But what I did do with my kids is by the time they were 5, they had show animals to take care of. And they were so glad when school started last week because they got rid of their 8-hour-a-day job and could go to school and didn't have to be in the pig barn all day. And just to give you proof how much my kids only know about the barn, last summer, my 7-year-old was out there with my wife and I walking pigs, and she was walking and she stepped in a pile of poop. My wife goes, "Sailor, you can't wear those shoes inside. It's going to stink the house up." She said, "What do you mean?" My wife goes, "Nothing smells worse than pig poop." She goes, "Huh, I didn't even know it smelled." Because it's all she's known her whole life. So to you parents that have these kids out here working like they are, there's nothing you can do better for these kids because they're so farther ahead than the kids at their school because they know personal responsibility, they have integrity, they have intensity, and you ought to be dang proud in this county of what you got with these kids. Give them another round of applause. You're going to hear me say this 3 more times. This comes down to personal preference, folks. It is my opinion and nothing else. I've tried to help every kid today that came through those 5 that made it to the finals but aren't in the top 5. I told them what I thought they could do better. I think it comes down really close to a pair of individuals out here. I'm going to select your champion first and then go down in order. But let's give them one more rowdy applause and I'll go pick them.
And your top 5 junior finishers in 5th place, we have Braylee DiPolito. Our 4th place finisher, Ellie Demirs. And in 3rd place, Isaac Green. Your reserve champion, Kimber Ellison. Your 2023 Junior Pig Showmanship champion. She's a junior. She drove that pig like a Mercedes. Parker Rosenberger.
Let's do round 2. Let's dim the lights. All right, everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3. Travis! We're good.
From the Prairie Wranglers, Avery D. He's a Ramsey Raider, Mr. True Snot. Sparkles and Spurs, Juliana Rue. She's a Northwest Ranger, Kiara Ellison. From the West Rangers, McKinley Thornton. Ramsey Raiders, Sophia Paliano. He's a Ramsey Raider, Landon Cedarblue. From the Sparkles and Spurs, Addison Forsman. West Rangers, Marty Babb. Another Northwest Ranger, Sophia Zittner. And another Ramsey Raider, Mr. K.
All right, and let's get those lights back on.
Senior showman, senior showman of the holding pen, senior finalists to the holding pen.
Yeah, give them a big round of applause. I kept 6 of them out here because I think there's 6 of them that are definitely in contention. Had a great talk with those 5 or 6 that are over there in the placing pins, and it's so tough. And you know, this intermediate divisions, if you're a parent, you kind of know what I'm saying. When they're intermediate, they're kind of in a stage of life, they don't know where they're going, you know. And a lot of times, see the intermediates be pretty big, and then you see the seniors be small. And I commented on that earlier today. I'm impressed you had so many senior showmen that have stayed hooked up. But man, these are the kids, if you're an employer, you want to hire someday. You want these kids working for you. You know, I mentioned last night I get the opportunity to run the Oklahoma Youth Expo, our big show. And my job is to raise about $3 million a year for the youth of Oklahoma. And, you know, with agriculture events, the farm bureaus, the ag credits, the Mormons feed, those people are great, but they have to support this industry because it's how they make their business work. But what blew me away is you would never guess who our title sponsor is of OYE, McDonald's. You know why McDonald's? 2 reasons. Number 1, they said these kids will grow the food that we sell in our stores. And number 2, they said we want these kids to know who we are so they'll come to work for us someday. And our sponsorships have just grown and grown and grown. And the sponsors now are in oil and gas and healthcare, and you name it, they sponsor us. They're like, Tyler, we want to help these kids now, but we want them to work for us because they have integrity, they have work ethic, they have intensity, and that's what you have here, and that's what we're going to go pick. So give these kids a big round of applause. I thought in the junior division, those 2 girls I put first and second, they were close, and they kind of raced to the top. This is a lot closer to me. If you're 6th out here tonight under another judge, you could win. These 6 are close. I don't know for sure what I'm going to do yet. We're going to go fire them back up and look one more time, and I'm going to pick your top 5 and congratulate the 6th overall. Give them a nice round of applause.
And your top 5 finishers from the intermediates: in 5th place, Addison Forsman. Your 4th place finisher, Mr. Cade Nupp. Coming in 3rd, Sophia Zettner. Your reserve champion, Mr. Cruz Knopp. And your 2023 intermediate grand champion pig showman, Mr. Avery Deeds.
And as we get to our last and final show, let's do it one last time. Let's dim the lights. Let's hear it for Travis getting it this time.
From the Northwest Rangers, Mrs. Caitlin Miller. She's a Northwest Ranger, Riley Gregg. From your Ramsey Raiders, Taylor Howe. And your Ramsey Raiders, Matthew Green. From the Northwest Rangers, Mrs. Pfeiffer Rosenberger. From the Timberlake FFA, Courtney Ross. She's a Northwest Ranger, Ellie Dirks. From the Northwest Rangers, Hayden Johnson. He's a Ramsey Raider, Vincent Poliano. From the Ramsey Raiders, Kyle Taylor. From the Ramsey Raiders, Mr. Jaron Knox. Ramsey Raiders, Matty Andrus. She's a Northwest Ranger, Miss Samantha Spraker. From the Kootenai County Showman, Paul Shaner. The Prairie Wranglers, Ellie Berger. From the Kootenai County Showman, Lucy Johnson. Ramsey Raiders, Kaden Peterson. Out of Lakeland FFA, Mr. Owen Forsman.
All right, let's get the lights on and let's sort through this senior drive.
All right, we're gonna do this a little different. I wanted to keep back the kids that deserve to be back. There's no doubt these 18 needed to be back. They do an awesome job. This is going to take some time, be really challenging. But what I'm going to do is keep 5 to 8 to 10, however many I feel. I'm going to pin them back. I'm going to talk to the ones left in the ring, and they'll be excused to go back to their pins. This is just too many hogs in here to do an effective job of picking the champion winner. So if I pin you, go over there, hang out. I'm going to talk to the ones that are left, and then we'll have another final. So let's give them a round of applause, and I'll start sorting them off. Well, yeah, give them a round of applause. Hey, it's been an absolute blast to be here with you the last couple of days, and I'd just soon judge a county fair like this than judge any big national stock show, because the families care, the people care. Look at people here. Makes you feel good about life and about agriculture, about our kids. We got to focus on our kids, and that's what you do here. And this is a great set of kids. I could take this crew and everybody in the finals and many more back in there and go and start a company and just thrive because of these kids. And, you know, I played sports growing up, as I assume many of you did here. And we'd go to practice. We just had basketball. I was too small of a school to play. We didn't have football, and baseball was during stock show season, so I didn't play. We played basketball. And, man, during practice, we'd hate each other. We'd just beat the crap out of each other. But our coach always told us, we go out of that court, we're a team. When you come right here and show against each other, it's okay to be intense and want to beat each other. But kind of back to what I talked about last night, telling our story and advocating for agriculture, producing the safest, most abundant food in the world. You guys, when you leave this place, parents, grandparents, advocates, you kids, make sure you're pulling on the same rope, because if we're not, we're going to destroy ourselves. And my best friends in life that I talk to once a week, and some of them every day, I didn't meet on the basketball court. I met through this program right here in Oklahoma. And these are going to be your best friends for the rest of your life. So don't do something because you're emotional and upset, you didn't do as good as you thought, and ruin that relationship. Because at the end of the day, agriculture people will get after each other, but one of us are hurt or has cancer and in need, the first people there to help are these agriculture people, because we lift one another up. And don't let the competition here make you emotional and forget that, young people. That's the most important thing. Be there for one another, because there's not a lot of people in the world that are going to be here for you, but the agriculture community, we take care of our own. So don't let being third in showmanship tonight get mad at the person that won. Go forward being a team and being a friend, because these are the people you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Hey, this is super close. The bad news is there's not a perfect answer. The good news is there's not a wrong answer. Give them a round of applause. Let's pick the winners.
All right, so could we go ahead and get our 3 champions back to our holding pens? We're going to select you a champion overall.
And our top 5 senior finishers. In 5th place, we have Jaron Nutt. Your 4th place finisher, Owen Forsman. Coming in 3rd, Riley Gregg. Your reserve champion, Piper Rosenberger. Your 2023 Kootenai County State Fair champion hog showman Ellie Dirks.
All right, what an awesome night. Congratulations to these three kids for making the finals. Just some general comments about showmanship in the finals tonight. You know, throughout the day, I tried to find kids that weren't extreme in any way. If they'd have heard me talk to each other, I'd have confused them, because some of them I said, hey, you're too intense. Relax. Some of them said, hey, you need a little more intensity, wind it up. But you know, I was told once in livestock, extremes are a bad thing. The only thing you can't have too much of is structural correctness, but too much muscle's bad, too much frame's bad, not enough frame's bad. We got to find that middle. And I think these three are the middle, and there were others out there that did it. I'll tell you, some of them that did get sorted, and I talked to them about it, is they had chips, wood chips on their pigs poop, and they didn't wipe it off. And I said, when it's this intense, it's the little things that matter. But think about that next time. And some of our best lessons are learned the hard way. You know, at times, we as parents want to keep our kids out of difficult situations or make excuses of why they didn't do the best. Sometimes they just messed up. You know, Christy Noem, the governor of South Dakota, many of you probably know, I heard her give a speech one time in front of a bunch of businessmen and women, billionaires, and she took control of the room and she said, hey, when I was a kid, my dad stuck me in a semi when I was 15 and said, figure out how to get that semi home. She said, all we do now is try to make things easier on our kids. Challenge your kids. Challenge your kids. Make them better. And that's what we've done with this. So I'm preaching to the choir and I'm preaching to myself, but when our kids fail at showmanship or anything, we don't always have to tell them and make excuses why they failed, but encourage them to get better. And I think that's what you're doing here, and I encourage you to continue to do that. But man, it was an awesome day. It just came down to my matter of personal preference. We get out to these three, a lot of people say, the senior's going to win. Senior's got to win. And that's not always the case. I wanted them to come back out here and see them and earn them, because these two youngsters are absolutely in the hunt. But with that said, the senior's still the best. She's going to win. Congratulations.
There it is, your overall grand champion pig showman, Ellie Dirks.
For those of you guys in the barn that had success yesterday in the Market Hog show and want to get some pictures,